How you guys doing? My name's Eddie and I'm with Discovery Reptiles. And today, as you can see, I've got Samara with me. So you can take a look at her. Now, a lot of people have been sending me messages and you guys have been saying, hey, you know what? You do a lot of videos of her on the ground and you do a lot of pictures of her on the ground, but you never do anything of you actually holding her. Is that because she's aggressive? We know you say she's not, but is she really? And the fact is, she's not. As you can tell, she's not cooled down. She's not sedated. This is literally just how she is all the time. Now, we got Samara when she was a neonate from a guy in Indiana. And the guy, just happened to be there. We were looking for an animal that was going to kind of wow people. And we were thinking about maybe getting a Burm, but we're in Florida. Burmese pythons are everywhere. We were looking at retics. And then even possible African rock pythons, but we just weren't sure what avenue we wanted to go. And there happened to be a guy that we found online who was in Indiana who bred all types of anaconda and said, hey, you know what, I've got a female right now. She just was born, about a month or so ago. If you want, I can send her down to you so you can see how she does. When we got her, she was a little nippy. She had a great food response, but she was a little testy. And I thought, you know what, this is an animal that's going to be around people. She's going to be around kids because we're going to use her in all the educational programs. It's got to be an animal that calms down. And so the only thing that we did that was a little bit different was when she would bite, we would put her down and then pick her right back up. We never let her learn biting means you get put away. So she never actually got acclimated to the idea of, hey, I bite and I get put back. Instead, she bit, we put her down and literally picked her right back up. Now Sam is about 6 years old. And she's a great animal. She's the kind of animal that we use in all of our shows. And she makes talking about conservation extremely easy. When you're talking about conservation in Amazonia and in the Llanos in South America, you're talking about, an extremely important ecological system. And when you have an animal like an anaconda that you can bring to people and have people interact with them, it's one of those kind of things where it's something that no one ever forgets. And you can go to zoos and you can go to different places and you can see them behind, a plain glass window, but you're never ever going to be able to interact with that animal. What makes us different is that we do allow people to interact with them. So it brings a completely different perspective. You can see them on TV, see them in a zoo, but when you come face to face with one, that's when it just separates everything else apart. Now, anacondas are great animals, and I've got a lot of friends that have them. I know a lot of breeders that have them. They are probably one of my favorite species of animal in the entire world. They are not for everybody. And when I say that, Samara is outside. She's got a huge outside enclosure with a key lock. She eats rabbits. I just fed her a rabbit not too long ago, and you can see this is her whole body. So she eats rabbits. It's not like she's eating fuzzies or rats even. She's getting big food items. And she's a lot to handle. She's calm right now. She's relaxed right now. But Sam is probably about 8-9 feet long. And when I last weighed her, she was about 33.5 pounds. So she's an animal that's heavy. It's not that you're just going to pick up and, walk around and take into a store. No one's going to notice. If you take her anywhere, people will notice. And a lot of times it's a negative effect that she has. People see them and they immediately get scared, and then you mention that she's an anaconda and it's got such a negative connotation to the word, especially with Animal Planet and Discovery Channel putting out their fear-based reality shows and fear-based documentaries of people trying to be eaten by them. It's terrible. And the thing is that we did an event, I don't know, maybe about a few months ago, and there was a little girl there who was maybe about 13 years old, and she actually said, oh my gosh, she's going to eat me. And I told her, I said, there is absolutely no way that she would be able to eat you. Yes, if she was 24, 25 feet long, which is, again, by the way, that's the record, not 40, 50, 60 feet. The biggest anaconda ever was about 25 feet long. And yes, they can weigh 200-300 pounds, but that's such a rarity that if you go and you see people that are trying to document and tag and research anacondas in the Llanos, a lot of times they're finding animals between the 14 and 16.5 foot range. Anything bigger than that is really, really, really hard to find. So you have a lot of this fear-based falsified information from Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, and so on, that people just have this stigma. It's almost like when the movie Jaws came out and everybody started trying to attack and kill sharks because they had that fear in their mind, oh my gosh, it's going to eat me. It's no different than them. People have seen that terrible, movie back in the 90s, and now they see all the documentaries about anacondas in the wild and trying to eat people. They've got some idiot on Animal Planet or whatever trying to get eaten by an anaconda, even though people are not at all on their menu. Yes, there are some times where people have been killed by anacondas, but all in all, their menu, their diet, and their menu is nowhere near going after people. Even the biggest food item, which would be a capybara, that would be something that they would go after. And I can tell you right now that I've had Sam for quite a while. I've got a cat. There's animals around. Never does she ever go after one of them. And so, it has nothing to do with the fact that she was born and raised being, privately owned. If they have a food response, they're going to go after something. And never has she tried to attack anybody or try to hurt anybody or try to hurt another animal. Even when we feed her rabbits, she's got a good food response, but she's not overly aggressive where she's striking everywhere trying to bite somebody. And so I think all in all, anacondas are extremely misunderstood animals. People see them, they fear them, and it's just something that there's no information there. It's falsified information that people pull out of anywhere and try to hold on to that and think, oh, that's factual. And so when you have something like this, you need to be prepared for that. You need to be prepared for people being scared and people not knowing what to do and how to approach. But that being said, it does allow for a great way to talk about conservation. It does allow for a great way to talk about how important these animals are. And like I said before in the other videos, not just as predators, because at her size, she would still be prey. If she came across a jaguar or a caiman, there's no doubt that she would still be a food item for one of them. And at this size, she would be living in water, but she would probably also be going into the trees as well for safety reasons, because there's a lot of animals that would be going after her. But like, as I said, as you can see, she's, a really great animal. She's very calm. You can see all her, spots and everything. She's beautiful. She's not the kind of snake that you would get if you want to easily handle them, or the kind of snake that you would get like a ball python, or a king snake, or a corn snake, or, a boa constrictor even, some of these smaller, like a Hog Island boa. Those kind of snakes are smaller, they're easy to handle, kind of like the video that we did with the black-headed pythons. They're easy to handle. When you handle Samara, you have to be prepared for a struggle, because when she wants to get moving, it's really difficult to stop her from going where she actually wants to go. If she wants to move, that's it. She's going to move. And it just makes it kind of tiring, especially when you're holding her and you're trying to do things around the house. You're trying to do, animal enclosures, and even if you're trying to clean her own enclosure, if she's on you, after a while, it starts to kind of tire your back. She squeezes your arm, trying to hold on. Again, she's not trying to be aggressive. She's not doing it trying to hurt anybody, but, she's also just trying to hold on because she doesn't want to fall. All in all, like I said, she's pretty much a lover. She doesn't really do anything that's aggressive. She doesn't really do anything that warrants any kind of fear. But you still have to respect the animal. So you're not afraid, but you do want to respect them because they do deserve that. So that being said, if you guys have any questions, and I don't know if I said it already, if I didn't, I'm sweaty because I was outside working with the tortoises, and so their yard is all a mess because they've been digging. So that's why I'm covered in sweat right now. It has nothing to do with handling the anaconda. I know some people want to ask that, oh, are you sweating because you're nervous? No, not at all. She's one of the ones that I'm never nervous really with. I would be more nervous and hesitant handling the olive pythons because they bite so readily. With Sam, I don't really have to worry about that. I pay attention to where she is and where her head is, but I don't really have to worry about her trying to bite because she just never does. But again, if you guys have questions or you guys want to know more about them, you're more than welcome to email me at discoveryreptiles@yahoo.com. If you don't want to email me, check out our Facebook page. We've got a ton of animals on there. We've got a ton of links on there. And we don't just have stuff about our animals. We've got stuff about a bunch of different things. So we post, conversational pieces about conservation all over. I'm a very avid hunter. And so I post, topics and pieces on how hunting is saving and conserving wildlife. I know that some people hear that and they think that that's kind of oxymoronic. How can you be a hunter and promote conservation? But if you think about it, if you're a hunter, if you go hunting, For one, I don't support the slaughterhouses, and I think it's absolutely terrible what some of those animals go through, especially with Tyson. If you've seen the Tyson products and the stuff that those animals go through, it's absolutely terrible. It's literally torture. If I go out and I hunt and say I shoot a deer, I know what I'm getting, and it's a quick and easy death. I use every part of the animal. And if you think about it again, if you're hunting, you're going to want to conserve the animals that you're hunting. And so if everything gets developed and those animals go away, then what are you going to use for meat? And so I post a lot of videos and pictures and documents on those kind of topics. So if you guys want to check out our Facebook page, you're more than welcome. It's great. So you can check us out there and message us on there, or you could even give me a call at 239-440-5307. You're more than welcome to, leave me a voicemail, or you could even shoot me a text, which I know is pretty popular. A lot of people do that. And, I can definitely get back to you guys then. So if you guys want to talk, you're more than welcome to message us. But other than that, this is Sam. Now she's kind of woken up from her slumber. And so this is her checking everything out. And you can see she's just absolutely just a beautiful, beautiful girl. She's got a gorgeous little face. So now that she's woken, she's going to be moving all over the place, trying to get all over. And by the way, if you take a look at her, she's about as thick as my arm. So that just kind of gives you an idea as just how big she kind of is. So anyway, if you guys want to get in contact with us, now you've got the information. Check out our YouTube page. We've got a bunch of videos on there. We'll be making more. So if you guys have anything else you want to know, anything you want to ask, feel free to let us know. So I hope you guys, again, very similar to the black-headed pythons, if you guys were not interested in anacondas before, if you guys were not interested in anacondas before, I hope you guys are now. And I never, ever, ever, ever let any snakes go around my neck like that. It's just a habit of mine. I don't trust that. So a lot of people walk around with snakes wrapped around their neck. I never do that. That's just a safety precaution. With an animal this big, you never put them around your neck like that. So anyway, if you weren't interested in anacondas, I really hope you are now. I hope I get tons of messages asking about these guys because they're probably one of my favorites. So you guys take care, and thanks for watching.